hard to predict even now what we're going to do in the next 5 years.
Number one thing that people should know is you should never trust the output.
Forming a body that can regulate all of this. Are we anywhere near, in your knowledge?
For many things, say medical uses, we already have the FDA.
What do you anticipate to see in the near future? Forget about the distant future. What sort of changes are you expected to see? How rapid AI is overtaking a lot of things. Professor Dietterich disconnects with technology after a long research day. How? Professor, if before ChatGPT, these models did exist, but they were in labs, they were in research, they were in confined, and then ChatGPT came, and the models became now an open source access, and a lot of people, even people who did not have coding experience, were able to access, build, and apply these models. So not only their access became easy, but since ChatGPT, the application of it also has become a lot easier. Hence, people going into that more competition, Professor, and now a diverse group of people are looking at our diverse mechanisms, diverse research entities and categories to enhance. So it's definitely given a boost. Considering all of this, which is exploding now in the AI tech field, and newer technologies are coming in, hard to predict even now what we're going to do in the next 5 years.
Right.
How does one or a layperson keep up with this?
The number one thing that people should know is you should never trust the output of these models. Even though you can ask them questions and they'll always produce answers, you need to check the answers by doing, say, a more traditional web search or tracking down the references that they give, because these are probabilistic models and they're filling in with what they think is the most likely answer.
But that depends on how well the model has been built, Professor. Isn't that right?
Yes. Well, it
The
depends
model
on
has
whether,
been.
yeah, the question you're asking was whether the answer was in the training data or was in, now these models are typically combining some sort of web search and retrieval with the language model. But we find that the language model does not always pay attention to the retrieved information. They've been seen to also to make up documents that don't exist or software packages that don't exist, but that in some sense should exist. They seem like things that would exist. And so in particular, they're quite bad at, or quite tend often to, if you ask them to write say a little biography about me, it might make up awards that I've never won, papers I've never written, books that I haven't, books that would be very plausible that I might have written, but that I have not. So I think that's, from a technical standpoint, we're seeing the limitations of a statistical learning approach to trying to represent knowledge. I think everybody who's working in the area feels like we can't keep up with all the research. There seem to be hundreds of companies in every sub area, whether it's in medicine or automotive or warehousing or robotics. So I think none of us can really keep up. I think it's good to get hands-on experience and to try to use these tools to do things, but with a very skeptical eye to seeing where they work and where they don't work. Particularly, many people are turning to these chatbots to be sort of personal companions or simulated boyfriends and girlfriends or counselors, and asking them for advice on how to live their lives and so on. And these systems have no human experience and are not competent to give advice on such things, and just can't be trusted. They're going to be giving back answers that come from social media or other not authoritative sources. I think actually the biggest risk of these systems is that we kind of fall for them and start relying on them for emotional support, and it can even become kind of an addiction. And we have seen at least one case, right, where a chatbot seems to have encouraged a 14-year-old boy to kill himself. And there's currently a lawsuit against this company, Character AI, for that system. So I think we need regulation for regulating and controlling the kind of addictive potential of these models.
Professor, are we anywhere near forming a body that can regulate all of this? Are we anywhere near, in your knowledge? I know there's a lot of hype going on. Are we even thinking of doing that? Formulating a body that can audit, that can check, that can regulate
a separate body. I think my guess is that we will for many things, say medical uses, we already have the FDA, and
but it's not regulating AI.
Well, it is regulating some things, like, for instance, AI applied in radiology is regulated as a medical device, and the FDA has approved, I don't know, 50 or 60 products, something like this, in that area. And of course, AI synthesized drugs, which is a huge opportunity, and we're seeing a lot of advances in speeding up the process of developing drugs and immunotherapies and so on. Those also will go through the existing regulatory processes. And similarly, say AI in the financial industry will be regulated under existing statutes.
Professor Dietterich, just briefly explain to us, what do you anticipate to see in the near future? Forget about the distant future, the near future, the next 3 years, for example. What sort of changes are you expected to see with AI getting involved in every aspect of our lives? Just briefly.
Well, I guess, we'll certainly see more of what we're already seeing: more uptake in medicine, more uptake in the legal field, more diffusion of self-driving cars. I've now taken 3 rides in a Waymo, and we're seeing other companies advance in that area. We may see self-driving semi-trailer trucks, at least on freeways. So I think that those kinds of incremental improvements, we'll see, improvements in language translation and so on. Yeah. And probably more use in animation and the movie industry, using the new AI, the video tools that have been developed.
You mentioned all of those, and there's fantastic. Those seem all positive things. But there's also concern that there could be, it's easier to now probably make a bomb, easier now to abuse the power that we have. That's definitely got to be a concern somewhere. There's no control. Wouldn't that lead towards us thinking that there may be more cybersecurity attacks, other attacks, unstable, unsafe society?
Right. For cybersecurity, these technologies strengthen the hand both of the attackers and the defenders. And
so you're looking at it in the positive way, that it's going to help both parties.
We don't know what the balance is. We don't know if the attackers will get the upper hand or the defenders, but it definitely raises the capabilities of both sides. And
excellent.
And there's some, one of the big challenges, I think, of our existing software infrastructure, right, is that it is so gigantic and so expensive to maintain that we have all of these unknown attack opportunities, bugs basically in these systems that can be exploited by cyber attackers. One of the big promises of AI is in software engineering, and it seems that these tools are getting to the point that they could scan all of this existing software and find many, many vulnerabilities and automatically repair a lot of them. But
there's going to be definitely a role in the society. Are you worried about AI in any way at this stage?
Well, my biggest fear is that this ability to create these persuasive artificial boyfriends and girlfriends or therapists or whatever friends, that could lead to further breakdown in society, where everybody's just completely absorbed in their the cyber world, simulated worlds rather than in the real world. So I can certainly
But
spin
you are,
the dystopian future as well. Yeah.
you are worried that you
I
are
guess I
worried
think
about things.
sorry.
The fact that you're mentioning democracy being threatened and things, but you are worried though that it could there is a potential of AI being abused and leading society in a wrong direction.
Oh yes, yes. I mean, if you look at the history of how capitalism works, it tries to identify the needs of people and meet them, but some of those needs are really weaknesses in our intellectual makeup. So or our biological makeup, and so we have addictive drugs, we have gambling, and these are and now we know that we can be emotionally manipulated by these AI systems. And unless we strongly regulate that capability, I think companies will step in and try to make a lot of money by addicting us to those.
We're going to do the next section, Professor, and that's sort of like rapid fire questions, knowing about you or your one word or two words or a few word answers. So let's start with that. Professor Dietterich disconnects with technology after a long research day. How?
Listening to music.
Lessons you learned while supervising graduate students.
Every student is different.
Biggest inspiration outside of computer science.
Boom. Biggest inspiration. Yeah. I don't know.
Faith?
I read a lot of authors, so I guess yeah.
There could be many. Gotcha. One daily habit or routine that fuels your creativity.
I like to walk to work and walk home, and often I either listen to music or try to learn a new language. It's one of my hobbies.
Professor, if you weren't a computer scientist, you would have been?
Maybe a lawyer.
A book or idea outside AI that changed how you think about things.
Well, Thomas Kuhn's The Structure of Scientific Revolutions was important. I don't know if that's outside of AI or not.
Brilliant. Professor, thank you for your deep, thoughtful, and wide-ranging conversation. Your work reminds us that AI is not just about algorithms, it's about impact, responsibility, and human collaboration. Please do continue that, and thank you for being in our show.
Well, you're very welcome. It's been a pleasure.
What a remarkable journey we've just experienced together. The path to health isn't always straight, but it's always worth the effort. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your wellness journey, armed with new knowledge and a fresh perspective. If today's episode left you inspired, share it with someone who need to hear this. Give us a thumbs up and your opinion. Keep exploring, keep evolving, and we'll see you in the next episode of Khan Clinics.